Inkscape is an open source program for editing and creating vector graphics. To learn more about vector graphics and to see more lessons on how to use tech tools, visit suffolklitlab.org/howto. This video will show you how to perform common tasks in Inkscape. Watch the entire video to get a crash course in Inkscape basics, or jump to the time indicated on this slide to view how to perform a specific task. The Inkscape window is centered around a canvas, where you do your drawing. Around it are a number of tools. First, we'll see how to make a simple predefined shape. To make a rectangle or square, simply click the Create Squares and Rectangles icon. If you move your cursor over the canvas, you'll see that this is now a set of crosshairs with a rectangle attached. Place the crosshairs where you would like one corner of the rectangle to appear. Click and hold the mouse button while dragging the cursor to where you want the opposite corner to appear. Let go of the mouse button, and there you have it, a rectangle. To change the color of the rectangle, find the tool set labeled Fill and Stroke. Here you can change the color of the rectangle, it's fill, and the color of the outline, it's stroke. You can also change the stroke style, for example, making it thicker or dashed. The same procedure applies to making circles, except of course, you start with the Create Circles tool. And don't forget that you can remove the fill by clicking on the X under Fill. Likewise, you can remove the stroke. You can also replace these with gradients and the like. But that's beyond the scope of this simple introduction. Just play around. And yes, there are other predefined shapes like stars and polygons. You control things like the number of the sides in the toolbar at the top of the canvas. Again, have fun playing around. Once you've created objects, you can select them by choosing the Select and Transform tool. When an object is selected, not only can you drag it around, you can edit its fill and stroke. And you can resize it by stretching it like so. If you click on a selected object, you will toggle between being able to stretch and rotate it. And you can even move the point around which it rotates by clicking on these crosshairs and moving them about. To select multiple objects at one time, just hold down the Shift button or click and drag the selector box to encompass multiple objects. If you're holding Shift and click on a selected object, it will be unselected. Of course, if an object or objects are selected, you can copy, cut, and paste them as you would text in a word processor. When using the Ctrl-V shortcut to paste, the selection will appear where you have the cursor. Since objects are their own individuals, you can continue to select, edit, and move them about accordingly. In addition to moving these objects back and forth across the canvas, you can reorder them in and out of the screen. To do this, use the Lower and Raise selection tools at the top of the canvas. In the toolbox, with Fill and Stroke, you should find the Align and Distribute panel as well. Here you can force selected objects to align about their centers, tops, bottoms, sides, and the like. You can also select more than two objects and set them at equal distances from each other. This is called distributing them. If you decide you'd like a collection of objects to act as one, you can group them together. Just select the objects and select Group under Object. To split set objects, just select Ungroup under Object. Perhaps the most powerful tool in your toolbox is the Bezier pen, because it allows you to make very controlled shapes. To start a drawing, place the crosshairs where the line should start, and click your mouse. Move the crosshairs, and click again to anchor the line to the canvas. Double-click to finish, or click on the first anchor point to create a closed shape. Of course, you can select these shapes and tweak their fill and stroke. But that's not all. The Bezier pen's real strength is in making curves. If you click on an anchor point and drag the cursor, you'll see a set of handles grow out of the anchor point. The length and orientation help shape the path you're drawing, allowing you to make very detailed tweaks. And after you've finalized a shape, you can use the Edit Path by Nodes tool to further tweak things. Just select the tool, then click on one of the anchor points in your shape. These are called nodes. The handles will appear and you can drag them about to edit the shape. You can also delete and add nodes after you've finalized a shape with the buttons at the top of the canvas. Adding text is rather straightforward. Just choose the text tool, click on the canvas, and start typing. Of course, you can use the text and font panel to control the font style and size. And you can treat the text like other objects, scaling and rotating it. So what if you want the text to follow something other than a straight line? For that, we have to introduce the idea of a path. A path is just a shape to which you can attach other objects. To make any old shape into a path, select the object, then select Path, and then Object to Path. To attach your text, select both the text and your newly created path. Then, from the text menu, select Put to Path. You can save your work as you would in most programs by clicking on the File menu, Save. The saved file, however, will be a scalable vector graphics file, an SVG. This is the file you'll want to come back to if you have to edit your work. If, however, you want to save a standard image file, you'll want to export a PNG file. This is done by selecting File, Export, or just using the Export to PNG panel. Sometimes you'll hear people talk about a PNG as a PNG file. Here you can choose where the file will go, how big it is, and what it's named. You can also decide if you want to export just the selected part of your work or some other frame, such as the whole document or just this part that is displayed sort of as a page on the canvas. When you're ready, just click Export and your image will be saved to that file.